जैसा विजय सर ने कहा था थोड़ी देर पहले कि ट्रेलर देख के रोंगटे खड़े हो जाएंगे, and exactly that's what happened. It was indeed powerful and inspiring, moreover. So we are looking forward to it, and all the best to the entire team. And before we open the floor for the Q&A for the media, I would like to tell our friends from the media that if you have any questions, please type it in the chat box, which is at the bottom of your screen. And all you need to do is first mention whom you want to address the question to, then your name, then the publication that you belong to, and then the question. Usse thoda aasan ho jayega for us to address it, the right question to the right individual. So thank you. Once again, chat box is the place. In the meantime, I have a couple of questions that I'm going to ask puri team se yahan par. And starting with Vijay sir. What is Toofaan that you experienced while bringing Toofaan to Amazon Prime Video?
Actually, you know, our the relationship that we have with Excel is so special. I mean, we've done so many interesting things together, so many firsts. I think the Toofaani moment in this, besides dealing with Ritesh every day, is really, you know, them entrusting us with what I would like to believe another game-changing film, and allowing us to premiere it all over the world. You know, I think that's another big first. The chapter that we have with Excel runs into books now. So I think this has been, I can say this from afar, having worked with them very closely for years now. This has been a labor of love. I've known of this film from the very first time that it was there was a script to how Farhan was prepping for it. The fact that lightning did strike at the same place twice. And we've been following it very closely, very passionately, and hopefully, you know, we've been reflecting some of that passion. But then for them as creators to take that decision and trust this product, this amazing story, and believe that we will actually do justice to it is you know, it's kind of emotional and at the same time a moment of great pride for all of us at Amazon.
Indeed, a proud moment. And let's look at the other side of the ring, which is Ritesh sir. Excel Entertainment ने पहले ही Prime Video पर एक से एक धमाकेदार hits deliver किया. And now as a producer, you're partnering with them for Toofaan. How was the experience, and what is the difference in creating a series and presenting a movie?
So unlike Vijay's experience, mine has been very good dealing with it. You know, so you know, like we've said it before, I think Amazon is more like, it's like, you know, we consider it home for us in a lot of ways, because we made our entry into the OTT platform with our original shows with Amazon, and that relationship continues with many more shows. And I think so when we were deciding that, you know, which is the first film which we were thinking about of getting onto the platform, right? And so Amazon would be the right partner. And I think where we trust them with this, taking this film forward is, I think their reach is right now in 240 countries, you know. And like we had to create, you know, when we release our movies in theaters, so you put in all your effort, energies to make that into an event. And I think that's exactly what Amazon is going to do. And we're hoping that this relationship, like, it becomes into an event for people rather than just being, you know, like, okay, it's coming to your home, and you make it an event for the family to sit and watch it together. So I think that's where this relationship is going to go towards, and hopefully many more films to come after that.
Yes, as you rightly said, this is your home now. और घर की boxing ring हम सब घरों में पहुंचाएंगे, and we're looking forward to that. Next question is for Rakeysh sir. Athletics, boxing, what's next? Kabaddi? But no, on a serious note, इस film के दौरान shooting experience कैसा रहा? How is it to make a sports biopic versus making a fictional sports drama? And how is the journey with Amazon any different?
I'll start with the last part of the question, which is the journey with Amazon.
Amazon, yeah.
You know, when you start a film, there's a certain sense and a dream which you need to fulfill. And it's like an empty canvas, and you start painting. It's like a huge jigsaw puzzle. And you start placing the pieces, and then slowly, magically, by some conspiracy of the universe, things start coming together. When we saw the first cut of the film, we realized that we made a world cinema. You know, it was not Hollywood, it was not just Bollywood, it was not Tollywood, or, you know, it was not just Indian cinema. It was crossing the boundary. And every time it felt whether our system, our distribution system will be able to take it to the next level. Because there are certain restrictions with, South Asian films. They don't get the same platform or level playing ground as, like, say, a film like Ali, which was played by Will Smith, would get. And that's also a boxing film. And Toofaan is also a boxing film. There was Will Smith, here we have Farhan. So they've also worked very hard and made an amazing film. We've also worked very hard, and I don't know how amazing film we made or what. That the audience will tell us and time will tell us. But now, one can rest in peace to say that our hard work, our passion, our baby has now gone to the best university in the world, to the best school in the world. It's got the best platform. It's like the Olympics, and so it would be amazing to see how we are received. Like Ritesh was saying, 240 countries. Let me repeat that. 240 countries. It doesn't happen to a South Asian cinema. But I think that opportunity has come, and I'm very happy and feel blessed for that. And thank you to Amazon for that, to begin with. The first part of your question is very difficult to answer. I've heard the word in my ear more than once: sports film, boxing film, Farhan playing the boxer. I also didn't know much about boxing. I've been a sportsman, but boxing is not something which, honestly, I had followed. I loved to watch it on TV, some big games and all that. But entering this film, I suddenly realized it's a contact sport. Unlike cricket or athletics or football or horse riding, they are not contact sports. You are running. True. And people are running on different tracks. And if that was difficult, imagine what a contact sport is. Because you cannot fake a contact. How to shoot for that was another story altogether. The whole physicality, the mental makeup was another story altogether. The psychology of the character, what he went through, was, we can write books on that as such. मतलब व्यूअर्स के लिए आसान कर दूं, कॉन्टैक्ट स्पोर्ट वो होता है कि जब कॉन्टैक्ट होता है तो हम नॉकआउट हो जाते तो बॉक्सिंग में लोग एक दूसरे को मारते. That's the sport. Obviously there's safety, you cannot hit below the belt, and you have gloves, and inside you have inners, so that the safety of the sport can be respected as such. So by far, for me, it was the most challenging film. If I were to put Rang De Basanti and Bhaag Milkha Bhaag together and put it in a mixer grinder, what will come out is Toofaan. For me, this is also the first film in my career I'm doing out of ROMP pictures. Though you will see my name and as a producer there, along with Ritesh and Farhan. But वो मिल गया मेरे को. मैंने कुछ अच्छा काम किया होगा तो मेरे को वो टाइटल भी मिल गया. I seriously don't deserve that. And it was such a pleasure working with Excel. It was because here I was left to do something which I know best, which comes naturally to me, to direct. There was absolutely nothing, as a producer there are millions of problems every day. ये नहीं कि आपने 1 मिलियन सॉल्व कर लिया, 100 आपकी प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व हो गए, अगले दिन 200 और खड़ी हो जाती नई वाली, जिनका आपको पता भी नहीं. मेरे को पता भी नहीं चला, किसी ने ये भनक भी नहीं आई कानों में कि यार आज ये प्रॉब्लम है, ये लोकेशन मिलेगी नहीं मिलेगी, आपको 500 एक्स्ट्रा चाहिए तो देखा 1000 है वहाँ पे, क्योंकि बोलते नहीं हमें लगा कि इसमें आपको ज़्यादा चाहिए होगा, आपने 500 मांगे थे बट हमने ये कर दिया है. तो थिंग्स लाइक दैट. And there was only one problem on the set, which I have complained to Ritesh more than once. After lunch break, you don't feel like working. The lunch is like कि किसी की शादी में आया. तो वो फिर वो कंट्रोल नहीं होता. तो खासकर मेरे को तो लंच के बाद लगता था यार ये क्या हो रहा है, पैकअप करा जाए कि नहीं करा जाए. So that's a huge problem I have with Excel films.
But I would like to give a big shout out to the entire cast and crew who's watching us right now. That a big shout out to all of you. It's all the efforts, bearing fruits, and congratulations to all of you. And I have to compliment you कि Hamesha you create content which appeals a global audience, and we as viewers, we love your content. So thank you so much for that, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
And Farhan, as sir said as well, that you're from a different universe altogether when it comes to acting, your singing, and especially your fitness. And we've heard that you prep and your training to play Toofaan's character was extremely demanding, literally packed 4 years of training into one. How challenging was the entire experience for you?
It was like leap training. Every 4 years I trained for 1 year.
28 दिन में खत्म हो गया.
Basically. No, the thing is, बात ये है कि I've managed to keep myself fit for most of it. So whenever I need to start doing something new, I think that little advantage of having a good level of endurance and fitness helps. ये जो बॉक्सिंग की शुरुआत थी ट्रेनिंग मैंने अक्टूबर या नवंबर में शुरू की और शूट हमने शुरू की अगस्त में शायद, if I'm not mistaken, or something like that. So for that period of time, roughly about 8-9 months, I was training. And what Rakeysh is saying is very true. क्योंकि एक चीज़ होती है हमने मतलब when we were growing up इतनी सारी फिल्में देखी हैं बॉक्सिंग के बारे में, तो एक एक्साइटमेंट होता है कि you'll also be a part of those, that fight होगा एक रिंग में और montage होगा ट्रेनिंग का, and all that is very exciting when you get into it. But as you start training for the sport, you realize कि आप अपने आप को कितना भी फिट माने, कितना भी अच्छा आपका endurance हो, कुछ भी हो, you are not prepared to take on the sport of boxing with that attitude in mind कि हो जाएगा. It's not possible. It is an extremely demanding sport. अगर आप sports वालों से पूछे कि which sport do they think is most demanding, they'll probably tell you that it's boxing. क्योंकि उसमें एक तो physical aspect है, there is also a mental aspect to the game and an emotional aspect to the game. So it's actually like playing chess with your opponent, but you're using your body to play it. So you're constantly engaged. So it was it was difficult learning it, but very, very exciting because of what it is that we were going to make. So that gives you that gives you fuel. And similarly, I'll actually go back to Bhag Milka Bhag because it was mentioned here. कि अगर कोई भी काम आप करने वाले हो, अगर उसकी जो वजह है वो सही है, वो एक अच्छी जगह से आ रही है, एक प्योर जगह से, ऑनेस्ट जगह से आ रही है, then you automatically find the strength to be able to do it. तो फिर दुनिया देख के बोल रही है कि यार मतलब 3 घंटे ट्रेन कर रहा है, but you don't feel like you're training for 3 hours. You feel like you're doing what is right for what is being asked of you. So that is what kept me going through the training, through the shoot. And it was, so the fitness aspect of me is one part of the film, and the manifestation जो physically में आप करते हो वो ऐसे दिखता है यहाँ पे screen पे, तो everybody reacts to it very positively, thank you. But it's not about that. It's not. जो आप देख रहे हैं, it's actually about what's going on inside that you're being able to see on the outside.
So talking about inside, sir ने कहा यहाँ पर कि यहाँ पे दावत होती है. How did you manage to resist yourself with this?
मैं सिर्फ ये कहूँगा कि मुझे न्योता नहीं मिला. I was never invited, nor was I allowed to gate crash. The canteen was being shifted around every day, so I couldn't find it. No, only the wonderful smell of like rotis and naans and all would float around, and it would inspire me कि अब आने दो opponent को मेरे सामने मैं दिखाऊंगा.
Thank you, man. Mrunal, Toofaan say, what can your fans, what can we expect?
A girl who is very passionate, liberal, always, in life we need that one person in your life who would always push you to achieve your aims. Sometimes, even I felt like I was a little underconfident. I did not know what to do, how to do. I had my friends, my mom especially, who always pushed me that you can do it. Nobody from our family has done this before, but I see that in you. I think her vision, and somewhere down the line, when I was shooting the film, I was also having all the characteristics of my mother in my mind. The way she's so passionate, the way her vision especially, because Toofaan, it is a very challenging film, and it is the most difficult part is to motivate someone, to inspire someone. That journey, the learning, the actors that I shared the frame with, Paresh sir, उनके साथ मुझे सर ने अभी कहा कि he used to feel like audience, but I used to forget that what's my next line. I used to just be so enchanted and mesmerized by his performance. And one thing I loved about the entire filming process was there used to be this last take for love, you know, where you just be yourself and just like go for it. You don't have to care about what your hair is like, makeup is like, you know, you just be the character. What can fans expect? I think it's a slice of life. Everybody in their life, they go through some problems, struggles. And the thing is to never give up. And I'm proud, and I'm sitting here in you know, on the stage, and I have met a lot of people in my life who've never given up, and so my character, this journey is literally an amalgamation of my friends, my family, my co-actors, my director, and अगर सर मुझे उतनी छूट नहीं देते ना तो वो उतनी instinctive नहीं होती. So yeah. And thank you, Farhan, and thank you, sir. Trust me, because I feel like having this deadly combination at this initial stage of my career, it means the world to me.
You know, but if I may just add, sorry if I may, you know, I really feel that when a script is written, the characters in the film end up finding the right people to portray them. Yeah. It just happens, I don't know what do you call it, serendipity or, you know, whatever you want to call it. And so I feel when this film was made, when we were shooting, and now that we see it, I messaged her after I saw it the first time. Like, I cannot imagine anybody else in the part of Ananya apart from her. I cannot imagine it. It was like this role was written for her to play, like it was written for her, knowing that when we started writing it, Mrunal will be playing this, so let's write it for her. It feels like that. So she's made it so much her own, which is credit to her. And she's owned it, you know, it belongs to her. So, I mean, that is truly the hallmark of somebody who knows what they're doing, you know, and like she said, this is just the beginning of her career. She has a very long way to go, and we're all very excited to see what comes next. And how we feature in it. Little PS at the bottom. खुद अपनी भी publicity.
But I have to apologize, Farhan, because on the set I would only sit with all those, you know, the gym biscuits and all the snacks and tease him.
She was talking about motivation. Na? This is how she used to motivate me. She used to hold up gym jam biscuits and eat them. Rakeysh used to come with parathas like this.
That's what people are going to think, that there's only party and food happening. यहाँ पे काम नहीं होता. यहाँ पे सिर्फ lunch होता है और फिर घर जाओ.
And poor him is doing push-ups and abs.
Oh God. Yeah. But he's like right now, after doing Toofaan, I've started doing MMA, and I feel so fit, and I feel like I want to be in the ring and be fighting, you know. And somebody asked me, why are you learning all of this? Toofaan 2 aa rahi hai kya? I said, I wish, but zaruri hai yaar, seekhna, ek sport, dedicate, and it just made me a better person. The film made me a better person altogether.
Thank you. Thank you. And with that, you know, कई सारे सवाल हैं. The friends from the media have a lot of questions. But the first question is from Shravan from Miss Malini, and Farhan, for you. In the trailer, you portrayed a goon from Dongri who eventually makes the choice of becoming a boxer. How was the transition in playing two shades to the same character?
Yeah, I must say I had a wonderful time playing that character of Ajju. It's fully one let your hair down kind of part. And you know, we've all, again, just coming back to, we are all students of film, and we all fantasize about things when we see them. So like for me, when I saw, for example, like I saw Rangila and I saw Amir Khan in Rangila, and I was like, yaar, itna maza aaya hoga isko doing that part. Because you know, you can just have fun. You can say what's on your mind. You know, there's a carefree, I give a damn attitude. You think you're the cat's whiskers. You know, so when I got a chance to do it in this film, I absolutely relished it. Working with Hussain, to be honest, was very helpful because Hussain is he's from the area that we shot in. That's where he grew up. So he knows the lingo, he knows the body language, he knows those people inside out. Like he knows what, you know, like who you'd see in that mohalla and be like that he's one hero type. You know, like, so that kind of thing. So borrowing all those little things. So combination of that, a combination of the wonderful styling that was done. on the film, and Vijay Maurya's dialogue. I think all of that came together to make a very enjoyable experience for me on set. I must also here quickly thank all the people who lived in that area that we shot in Nagpada, where we were shooting. They were so warm, so hospitable. Every single door was open for us to come and take a break, have a cup of tea, just sit under the fan if we want to. So it really felt like you were shooting with your friends, with your family, and they made you feel very, very welcome. And that really did help too.
So I'll give a special mention to all the people from Nagpada, and that too तुम्ही सगळे बघत असाल तर तुम्हा सर्वांना एक मोठा shout out आणि नमस्कार. So I just Marathi, sorry.
Hey, me पण. Thank you.
Next question is for Rakeysh sir from Priyanka Roy from Telegraph. You have directed a sports biopic in Bhag Milkha Bhag. How limiting for lack of ready material and real life experiences, or contrarily, how liberating was it to direct a sports film which isn't based on a real life person?
How limiting or how liberating? I don't think it was limiting in any way. It was more liberating as such. And direction is and especially directing Toofaan was extremely liberating. Also, it was the subject matter is such which something which I feel very close to. I don't want to be a show spoiler and tell you the story. That is for, I think, the joy of discovery should belong to the audience as such. But here was story which is working at different levels. They are personal levels, there's friendship, there's romance, there is Guru Shishya Parampara, there is father-daughter, father-son, and then again father-daughter. There's a huge social relevance to whatever we are doing, and a responsibility.
And you've always been a great coach who's been guiding all the team players. So thank you for bringing us
whenever Mrunal and I thought we've done a good scene and performed really well, we would look at Rakeysh and there'd be two substitute players standing.
Warming up.
Substitute players. Come on, we can do it.
Let's do it.
Warming up.
Rakeysh sir, अगला सवाल है आपके लिए once again from Sheilajit Mitra from New Indian Express. How was your creative relationship with Farhan evolved over the years? Since Farhan is a director too, does that ever figure into your working equation?
Creative relationship क्या होता है मेरे को अभी इसको समझने में थोड़ा समय लगेगा. Yes, the relationship as person to person, as one human being to another human being, the respect for each other, the respect for each other's craft, giving each other space to do their thing. And most importantly, I think what we shared the most is silences, more than anything else. And that has given me a lot of strength as such to go out and do my work better. It also makes my work shine even more, when I'm working with Farhan, because he understands the craft inside out as such. But it's a double-edged sword, when a director is also acting and an actor is also directing. Because at times they start repeating themselves. Some of the greats of cinema, if you see, who have acted and directed, they have repeated themselves. But with Farhan, it's a very different story. He becomes the part. He doesn't play the part. And this is what I discovered, and I used to say a lot in Bhag Milkha Bhag. I don't know what more to say in Toofaan, because we've already said that, we've discovered that, we've tasted that, we've been there and done that. Here it was कि एक हमने इतना हमने जंप लगा लिए और हम 6 साल रुके हैं और हमारी भूख थी काम करने की दोबारा एक दूसरे के साथ. मेरी तो बहुत थी. तो वो डर लगता था कि यार हमने एक स्टैंडर्ड सेट कर दिया है, हो गया है, and we were very lucky with Bhag Milkha Bhag. Can we raise the bar now? Can we take our story, this absolutely inspiring story with fabulous characters, the story of an underdog, the story of a goon who goes out to become on the way to become a world champion as such. Can we raise the bar? That was the biggest thing which was always in my subconscious. And when I first heard the story idea, it's not my story, the thought came from Karan as such, and then it was elaborated beautifully by Anjum and Vijay. And obviously the director has to be a part of everything, every department. So वो पहली 4 लाइनों की narration में my first response, if I'm not forgetting, was I said, this is going to be a beautiful journey. It's going to be a long, very difficult. It's going to be a beautiful journey. And this film has a voice.
And the trailer we just witnessed definitely elevated, our expectations, and we wish you all the best. Thank you. Ritesh sir, the next question is for you from Durga from INS. Surge of sports films coming up. Bollywood is focusing on it more now. What makes Toofaan stand out from the rest of the sports films out there?
I think like Rakeysh has said it earlier, it's not only a sports film. I mean, when the first time Farhan had this idea, we discussed it with Anjum when he started writing it into a screenplay, spoke to Rakeysh about it. I think all of us understood it. You're talking of a story of this young guy who's an orphan living in the suburbs of Mumbai, and he's doing best to survive, and what is around him. So he uses his fist, and then he gets an opportunity in life to use that talent somewhere else. And it's his journey, So I think it's very inspiring. The movie engages you, it entertains you, it's boxing, there's a love story, but at the end of the day, it does leave you with a thought as well. So I think that's what Toofaan is about, So it's just not a boxing film. At the end of the day, like I said, it's the underdog and the hurdles he faces when he decides to not to go the easier way and to take the difficult path. So I think it leaves you with this thought, like I said, and when you go back thinking, okay, so it's also very, very inspiring for people out there. So I think that's what stayed with us, and we said this is what we should all collaborate on and make this.
Yeah. Sorry, if I can just add to that.
Yes.
The thing, I do feel that all of us, at some point or the other in life, have been guilty of one thing, which is labeling somebody or judging somebody based on certain labels that come attached to a person. So whether it's, if to just break it down very, very broadly, whether it's religion or it's caste or it's skin color or it's social demographic or it's level of education, so when you meet somebody and that you can tick 3 or 4 boxes, it gives you a sense of, okay, this is this kind of person. We've all been guilty of that. And this film challenges that notion on a very, very big level. The fact is that everybody, firstly, I mean, there's no point in judging anyone, but when you want to try and understand someone, or you want to try and read someone or get to know someone, it cannot be such a broad-based opinion on a generic set group. It's important to take the time to understand that person individually, to form an opinion about someone. And in this film, there is the underlying tone of this film does reflect that it is important to, in the most cliche way possible, to say, don't judge a book by its cover, is what it does. And that's where a person like Ananya, which is played by Mrunal in this film, is such an important catalyst in his life and in anyone's life when you need a person like this. Someone who gives you that sense of belief in yourself, who gives you the sense that, you can be more than what the world has dealt you. You can use your skills, because everybody has a talent. It may not be recognized, it may be untapped, it may go unnoticed for your entire life, but everybody has something in them that they could potentially offer the world if they have the right system, structure, support system, love, trust in place. And so this film, to me, like how Ritesh is saying, it is a lot about that. It is a lot about how an individual can reach his or her potential and break through barriers of stereotyping, cultural stereotyping, or whatever you want to call it, by finding the right person, or by the right person finding you, however you want to look at it, who believes that you have more to offer than the world, than what has been given to you as your circumstance.
Thank you for that takeaway कि हम सब में हुनर होता है. We got to make the most of it. Thank you. As you said, Paresh sir has joined us on the virtual space earlier in the course of the event. So Paresh sir के लिए अगला सवाल है from Amit Tyagi from Aaj Tak. Welcome back, sir. So you're playing the role of a boxing coach in the film. Tell us about your experience playing this role and why did you say yes for it?
मेरे लिए इस किस्म का रोल मैंने कभी प्ले पहले किया नहीं कि जहाँ पे इतना फिजिकली आपको इन्वॉल्व होना पड़ता है. तो जब मैं कोच बनने के लिए, जब रोल करने के लिए जब मैं ट्रेन हो रहा था, वन मिस्टर राजेश वाज ट्रेनिंग, तब मुझे पता चला कि मैं 1-1.5 घंटा जॉगिंग करने वाला बंदा हूँ, लेकिन जब मैं वो ट्रेनिंग कर रहा था तो 5 या 10 मिनट के अंदर इतना पसीना आ जाता था, मुझे लगा दिस इज द बेस्ट कार्डियो एक्सरसाइज. नंबर 1. नंबर 2, इसी बहाने मुझे रोल के बहाने जो मैं ट्रेन कर रहा था, मुझे रोल के अंदर भी उसका फायदा होता और फिजिकली भी मुझे फायदा होता और मुझे इसी बहाने कुछ सीखने को मिल रहा था. ऑफ कोर्स मैं जिस तरह फरहान भाई ने अपने आप को ट्रेन किया था उस तरह तो मैं अपने आप को नहीं कर सका था, लेकिन मुझे जो मेरा लिमिटेड एक्सपीरियंस था मुझे उसमें बहुत मजा आया. एंड मैं घर पे आके मेरे बच्चों को बोलता था कि अगर मैं आज अगर 20-25 साल पहले की बात होती तो मैंने इसे परस्यू किया होता बॉक्सिंग को फॉर एक्सरसाइज के लिए, फॉर एक फिटनेस रूटीन के लिए, बिकॉज वेरी एसेंशियल है. और कार्डियो की भी एक्सरसाइज है, टाइमिंग भी है, फुटवर्क भी, एंटायर बॉडी गेट्स इन्वॉल्व इन दैट लाइक स्विमिंग. तो ये मुझे बड़ा अच्छा एक्सपीरियंस मिला था. तो थैंक्स फॉर दैट टू द कास्ट एंड क्रू.
Well, thank you, Paresh ji. Thank you so much. Always an inspiration and all the best for Toofaan. Thank you, sir. Vijay sir, अगला सवाल आपके लिए. Pooja Talwar from Good Times. Amazon has had a terrific year, giving us diverse and original content across genres and packing a punch yet again with Toofaan. So the decision to have it on OTT and what's Amazon's slate for 2021 to offer?
I think in the last year or so, what we've done collaboratively is to help the industry find their audience during some very challenging times. And every step of the way, we've made sure that, it is something that is perceived by all the stakeholders, right? From the creators, the producers, to the talent, to the technicians, the crew, as a win-win. And that's not just in Hindi. We've been doing this across the various languages we program in. And the results are out there to see. Our promise is always to begin with our customers. And we know that customers love high quality content. And over the years, through our relationships, we've taken whatever feedback we get to our producer partners, help them better understand how the creative canvas is changing, because the way content is consumed is changing. And then all of that was put to test in the last year or so. And we realized that we have a very, very strategic opportunity to help great content creators to continue to find their audiences. And that's what we've been doing. We've been very fortunate that even as things are kind of dynamic in the country as it relates to theaters and all of that, we've been extremely fortunate that we've been able to identify massive, heavily anticipated films for our customers this year. And while I can't speak about what next, because then it will deny other events, I can assure you that the way we see this film is the perfect storm for the summer of 2021. And we're pulling out all the stops. I'm pretty sure customers are going to love it, not just in the Hindi viewing audiences. I'm pretty sure this film will not only cross over to the south of India. To Rakesh's point, I'm 100% convinced that this film will have an international following. And we're very fortunate to be able to take it to over 200 countries and territories. And finally, I also believe that while creatively a lot of conversation has happened around the film, the one big takeaway for me when I watched the film is, the general tendency of any sports film is guaranteed intensity. Sports just comes, any sports film. I mean, even if it's Moneyball, which is really about how players are bought and sold, there's some intensity that comes, right? That's the nature of sports. to me, what my biggest takeaway about from this film after I watched it was the relatable inspiration. Typically, for me, I mean, I've seen a lot of movies that are very inspiring, but they're far away. They put a lot of doubt in me saying, oh, I need X, Y, Z, A, B, C to happen for me to be able to follow that. That's not what this film is. You know, it's that little extra, it's the little push, it's the little nudge, and it's your definition of success. And that's what I found beautiful. So the success is not something that I mean, you don't see it in a, you know, a big fight in Las Vegas. It's not that. And I'm not going to say anything more because then I'm giving stuff away. But that's really my biggest takeaway. And I believe that as a result, it's going to connect with all 4 quadrants. There's something in it for the entire family. There's definitely something super, super inspiring for kids. And those lots of special moments. And I think people are going to enjoy it because of the drama. That there is sports in the backdrop, and it's such an intense sport performed by an incredibly talented actor, notwithstanding.
Thank you. और जैसे कि विजय सर ने कहा कि block your date, block your time, convert your home into a theater because Toofaan आने वाला है on Amazon Prime Video. And thank you so much. We're mighty impressed with the impactful and relatable content that Amazon Prime Video offers. So thank you so much. And इसी के साथ would like to thank the makers, the cast. Thank you so much. As you know, Ananya said, it's a slice of life. As Aju bhai said कि आपको सब कुछ relatable content आपने जैसे कहा कि वो रंगीला वाला आमिर खान instantly वो याद दिलाया जरा पंखा इधर घुमा. So we're looking forward to seeing that. And so जैसे आपने कहा कि हम सबकी ज़िंदगी में तूफान आता है, उससे कैसे उभर कर आते हैं, कैसे लड़ते हैं, and how we come out as a strong, powerful individual is all about that. So thank you so much for joining us and wishing you all the best. And इसी के साथ this is the moment to capture. So मेरी दरख्वास्त है कि अगर आप आगे आ जाएं for a perfect picture.
Thanks, man. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, thank you so much for joining us, everybody. And do not forget, Toofaan aane wala hai on Amazon Prime Video. Do block that date. Do block a time and convert your house into a home theater, right? Absolutely. This is your host, Sachin Kumar, signing off. Stay safe and do wear that mask whenever you step out. Thank you.